Well, this isn't the first video I expected to be making after not uploading for 4 months. Hello there, my dudes. And non-dudes. Otherwise known as women. Today I got to bring you a rather interesting topic that has been gradually spreading around over the past couple of weeks. You may or may not be familiar with a YouTuber known as Steveee, a Minecraft-based channel that uploads new videos faster than Disney spits out Marvel content, and has experienced a continuous cycle of incredibly rapid growth. That is, until some people uncovered the hidden truth behind his channel. Steveee is a content thief. Now, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about this here, but there is more than enough evidence to show for it, and if you're unfamiliar with this whole situation or just want more context, I would highly recommend checking out some of the videos in the description before continuing on with this one. They'll be the ones right at the top, under the section titled, Videos Exposing Steveee. To get to the point, another YouTuber, British Weirdo, released his fourth and probably final video on Steveee on January 7th. Steveee finally seemed to notice that people were talking about him because 2 days later he uploaded this. People started making fun of this video, so out of curiosity I went and checked it out for myself, and oh my goodness, this might just be the most illogical, contradictory, nonsensical, and just downright ridiculous video I have ever seen. I couldn't believe what I was watching. But you know what was even more unbelievable? There were people in his comment section who not only didn't think the video was crazy, but were actually defending him. I was astonished, especially considering it wasn't just a couple of people either, but a fair number of them. While the majority of the comments were still against him, this was quite concerning. So, in an effort to try and put some sense into these people, I analyzed the entire video and picked out every single fallacy and flaw in it that I could find. The fact that my script for the main portion of this video came to nearly 3,400 words should give you a bit of an idea of just how many things were wrong here. This is going to be a bit of a long one, so sit back and get ready to watch me absolutely demolish Steveee's video. Before I continue, I should mention that I'm not just creating this video for clout, and I'm also not making any profit off of it. The main purpose of me uploading this is strictly to spread awareness. Alright, let's get into it.
Hello everybody, it's Steveee. Today I would like to tell you about YouTubers who profit from my name, propagandize hatred and aggression on YouTube.
Okay, I know I'm only 10 seconds in, but already the misleading has begun. It's obvious from the way that he says profit from my name, that he is trying to make it seem like they're intentionally using his exposure as a springboard for views. Now, don't get me wrong, it's quite likely that there are people who are doing this, but as I will point out further on in the video, the specific YouTubers that he mentions here are doing nothing of the sort. More on this later.
The essence of my videos is very similar to the video format in TikTok. It's fast, funny content that does not strain the brain and cheers up.
Just want to point out that fast, funny content that cheers up, apart from the fast bit, is purely an opinion and not an objective fact like he's presenting it here. And may I ask, what does this have to do with the people calling you out?
A couple of YouTubers started to literally bully and strongly hate me after I started borrowing or spreading similar ideas as other YouTubers.
First off, bullying and calling out wrongful actions are completely different things. All these YouTubers were doing was bringing to attention the fact that Steveee had been stealing from them, which if you ask me is a pretty reasonable thing to do if you find out your content has been stolen. Calling this bullying is simply him trying to play the victim. To say that he was simply borrowing or using similar ideas as other YouTubers is nothing more than trying to convince people that he was not stealing, which, as previously mentioned, there is more than enough proof of. And can we talk about the fact that he literally shows Mumbo's bridge builder, which he stole, right next to a different video than the stolen one in an effort to cover up the fact that he stole it? That's not obvious at all. Why he used Mumbo's video as a reference of all things is beyond me. It just makes it infinitely easier to see through the blatant lie he's telling.
They call me a criminal and a thief. But now I will prove to you that my content is normal copyright content, and these YouTubers themselves are doing the same thing as me.
They're doing the same thing as you say? So you're accusing them of also intentionally stealing content? For one, by saying this, Steveee is actually admitting that he is doing the very thing he's trying to pin on the others, which isn't exactly the smartest move if you're trying to defend yourself or claim innocence. What's more, his accusation means absolutely nothing given that the people he's accusing all have a very good track record of providing credit whenever they make use of someone else's content. Okay, you have proof? Let's see it then. Long pistons are an idea that has been around for a while, and this is simply two different takes on it, not stealing. The fake Minecraft speedruns subcategory of videos is also one that has existed for quite some time, and I have seen countless different videos on this topic scattered across the platform. In both of these examples, obviously there had to be someone who came up with the idea in the first place, but this doesn't change the fact that it's now widely used and the specific videos displayed here are completely invalid attempts to blame someone for content thievery. Not to mention that these YouTubers he's showing us also have nothing to do with the 4 main people he references throughout his video. He's just grabbing random people who probably aren't involved in this situation in any way and throwing them under the bus for no reason other than to try and prove a point that doesn't even exist. You know what's funny about this one? Steveee actually used the wrong Mumbo video because I did my research on this one and British Weirdo did in fact either use or at least heavily inspire this design from a different video by Mumbo. And if you're about to say that proves Steveee right about stealing, allow me to go look up British Weirdo's piston door video. Well, would you look at that? He gives credit to Mumbo for the original design in the description. How ironic. Also, why does he have a big red arrow pointing at British Weirdo's channel? I could almost swear Steveee just has personal beef against this guy after his exposed videos and he'll do anything he can to make him look bad.
British Weirdo's video was released 10 months ago and has 1.1 million views. This is his most viewed video on his channel.
Remind me again what his views have to do with this? Oh right, you're trying to prove that he's making profit from your name. As for this, British Weirdo states right in his latest video that he has good reasons for making them and it isn't profit.
Yes, a 4th video may seem like I'm somewhat milking this whole situation, but there's a reason I am making this video, and it has been 9 months since I last spoke about Steveee.
Even if he does end up making some profit off of these videos, it is clear that this is not his intent. Besides this, he's also stated previously that his care for the community is why he makes these kinds of videos and simply wants people to be made aware of the situation.
It may seem somewhat bad that I have benefited from Stevee's downfall, but I don't really care. If I cared, I wouldn't have exposed Steveee in the first place. I exposed Steveee because I care about the community I am a part of, and I will never tolerate theft from other creators.
In the video, he tells people to stop me and not watch this kind of content.
I urge you to stop watching Steve and not support this type of content.
Once again, Steveee did not provide a link to this video and you have no other context besides the clip he shows here.
I shoot the video myself and submit the idea exclusively from my side. My channel has 1.5 billion views combined, so people like this kind of content.
So you're saying that because people like it, that means it's just okay for you to steal it? That's a weak defense if I ever saw one.
I take, for example, an 8-minute video and convert it to 1 minute in order to easily convey the essence to the viewer.
Can we just take a moment to realize that he actually showed us, in broad daylight, his stealing of Mumbo's bridge builder after trying to cover it up less than a minute earlier? The sheer level of inconsistency and contradictions in this video is off the charts.
This is what short videos are for. And it is not necessary to indicate in the description a link to the real author of the idea, because it is often impossible to find it.
I think I'm gonna get brain damage from this. Everything that Steveee says here is wrong in every possible way. No, that is not what short videos are for. They should be original ideas and not simply grabbed out of someone else's content. And if for some reason you are doing this, then yes, you should absolutely provide a link to the original video because the person you're using the clip from deserves full credit for their work. And I'd like to point out another massive flaw in Stevee's last statement, referring to the sources for his borrowed content. He says it's often impossible to find it. This statement literally contradicts itself because in order to use a given piece of content, you would have had to have access to it in the first place. The entire time that he spends copying said content onto his own channel, he could easily grab the link to it at any moment. To not do so is nothing short of plain laziness, if not a deliberate avoidance to credit the original creator, which, given Stevee's lengthy background on stealing videos, would not surprise me at all. Besides all of that, notice that he says often impossible to find it while showing the original creator of one such video on screen. Add that onto the fact that Mumbo is one of the creators he stole from, and given his massive subscriber count and popularity on YouTube, I seriously doubt you would be hard-pressed to find the link to his bridge building video. At the very least, you should be able to look in your YouTube watch history and find the videos that you used in order to reference them if for whatever reason you didn't do that already while using them. To put it shortly, Stevee's arguments for not linking the original videos in his descriptions have more holes than a centipede has legs.
Let's get back to British Weirdo. Over the past year, he made as many as 4 videos about me. What do you think he did it for? In order to get money from this and raise his own reputation.
I already covered the fact that British Weirdo's intentions on his exposed videos are not for profit or to raise his popularity or subscriber count. Need I say more?
In all the revelations, he accuses me of not creating new content, but he himself is rebuilding old mumbo-jumbo buildings and gaining more views on these videos than on his original content.
Notice how Steveee doesn't even try to defend the accusation made against him, but instead goes directly to throwing British Weirdo under the bus by trying to make it look like he's doing the same thing, which he isn't doing a very good job at, I might add. Once again, I already explained how British Weirdo did not steal anything and gave proper credit to Mumbo in his video description regarding the piston door video.
His channel is based mostly on exposés, which is what gave him most of the channel's views.
I like how he says that the channel is based mostly off of exposés while showing on screen that there are way more other videos than there are ones about exposing people. Now I will say that Steveee is correct about these videos making up the majority of the channel's views. I actually added them all up manually for a comparison, and it's roughly a 2-to-1 ratio. Although, if I had to guess, he probably just assumed this without checking fully. However, this does not mean that the exposés are the main point of his channel, as Steveee seems to think.
Do you really call it creating useful content?
Bruh.
The next channel is Fizzy Banger, whose most popular videos are also based on revelations. At the very beginning of the video, he tells the viewers the fake information that a group of people is working on my channel, but this is a lie.
Which are operated by a single person. This channel has an entire team working towards uploading as much content as possible.
I make all my videos by myself.
Now, I really can't say much about this bit because I don't have much reference material to go off of. I believe that Fizzy Banger may have deleted the video that Steveee shows, because after a few searches, both on YouTube in general and on his channel specifically, I couldn't find it. I have heard a few people talking about how they believe Stevee's channel is run by multiple people, and while I definitely think this is a possibility, I'm not aware of any hard evidence of this, and as such, can only speculate.
He charges me for using Mr. McKistein's data pack and not leaving a link in the video description.
Out revealing that Steveee had been using his data packs to make monetized content without providing any credit.
But data pack creator Mr. McKistein makes a mod with a long piston. This idea is stolen from an old Phoenix SC video.
Oh please, not this again. He really is trying to do everything in his power to pin blame on people, isn't he?
He didn't link to the original anywhere. But in fact, Phoenix SC is also not the creator of the idea, since in the video he reviewed pictures on Reddit.
And this makes him a thief. How exactly? All Phoenix SC is doing is taking images the people sent him in his subreddit and recreating them in-game with whatever weird magic he uses to make this stuff.
That is, it is impossible to find the discoverer of the idea.
You have to think a little more carefully about this one, as the terminology is being messed with. Original creator and original discoverer of the idea are not the same thing. Making a video on a widely known topic that some person came up with a long time ago, such as extended pistons or fake speedruns, is not stealing so long as the video itself is an original iteration of this topic. What I'm trying to say here is that Steveee is accusing Phoenix SC of stealing an idea when what he's actually doing is simply expanding on an idea that many other people have already made content on in some way or another. While this one might not be as blatantly ridiculous as some of the previous stuff he said in this video, this argument by Steveee is still very much an invalid one.
Because every idea is a reworking of some old idea. Every YouTuber who exposed me also stole ideas from others.
This is once again a flawed statement. Yes, it is often the case that new ideas are simply reworkings of old ideas. However, as I just explained, expanding on an old idea with a new piece of content is not stealing, so this accusation is meaningless. Also notice Stevee's use of the word also here, which could imply that he is literally admitting to stealing things himself. His response to being called out, in essence, goes a little something like this. You're saying I'm a thief? Well, look at these people who accused me, they also steal, which of course they don't. So what I'm doing is just fine because they're doing it too. Wow. Apparently he has some more examples here. Let's give these a look, shall we? Enough of the long pistons already, for goodness sake. Honestly, this one is just laughable. Not only are these two completely different designs, but the idea of 5x5 piston doors has been around basically since pistons have existed in the game, and there have been countless different versions made, as Crafty Masterman so elegantly puts here.
Let me ask you another question. How many unique 5x5 piston doors do you think have been made? You said 621. Well, that number is probably not far off. These are a bunch of 5x5s. It goes a little longer than you thought. And keep going.
What the?
Steveee, why do you even try? Oh, this one again. Already covered that earlier on the video. For a proper explanation of these three, I'm just going to refer you to this video by Element X but shorter, in which he addresses these examples himself. Link will be in the description. Here we go again, another repeat of before. Okay, I'm just gonna stop now, you get the idea.
They accuse me of stealing the idea from YouTuber Phoenix SC when he himself stole the idea from Megamani.
So this one is actually a little more involved, and I needed to do more research to come to a conclusion than I did in most of the previous examples. However, just like in all of those, Steveee is incorrect yet again. Allow me to explain. True to British Weirdo's Twitter post, which is shown here, Steveee did indeed use the same concept from Phoenix SC's video. If you look at the dates, they were actually released on the same day, January 4th of 2023. However, the general date stamps say 10 days ago for Phoenix's, and 9 days ago for Stevee's, which is really the only way of telling that Phoenix was the first person to upload. Well, you might say, maybe they just had the same idea. Okay, if the videos were spaced out by a fair distance, say a couple weeks for example, this would be a pretty reasonable assumption as both of them are based off something called the slide mod. However, the fact that they both uploaded on the same day, Steveee only shortly after Phoenix SC, seems a little sus if you ask me. Let's do some more checking. To my surprise and somewhat shock, Steveee actually credited not only the mod but also Phoenix SC's video in the description. This almost never happens, so I knew something was up. Let me show you an example that I think will be of use here. In his video, The Steveee Problem, British Weirdo says the following.
Yes, Steveee did actually credit Mr. Mackenstein, but this is after Mr. Mackenstein had to blacklist Steveee for stealing dozens of his creations. This is the only time I have seen Steveee actually give credit.
So it looks like he only gave credit after he was called out for stealing. Based off this example, I think I've come up with a pretty reasonable guess at what happened here, and it goes something like this. On January 4th, Phoenix SC uploaded his video. Shortly afterwards, on the same day, Steveee uploaded his without giving any credit. British Weirdo noticed this and made his Twitter post a day afterwards calling him out for it. Steveee in turn saw this post and, in an effort to remove blame from himself, went and put the credit in his description. Now, I have no way of knowing if this is exactly what happened, but given Stevee's history and everything else that's gone on here, I'd say it makes a fair bit of sense. The fact that he also doesn't attempt to disprove the accusation but once again jumps straight to blaming the person he took it from is even more reason to believe this is true. And regarding the comparison to Megamani's video, I checked that one out for context and it's not even the same thing. From what I can tell, Megamani does not use the slide mod in his video, meaning Phoenix SC did not steal any idea from him, making this yet another invalid accusation. There are a couple of unknowns in this one. I checked both videos and the dates are correct. Why they were both uploaded around a similar time when the date of the original bug report was July 19th, 2020, I'm not entirely sure, but if you search up death.fell.accident.water on YouTube, you can find more than just these two videos on the topic, so I think it's safe to assume that this was just a case of something being discovered and multiple people making videos on it over a stretch of time.
You can also see it showing my stolen TikTok idea.
Oh, what a cute baby dragon build. Too bad you stole it from Minecraft Still Free on TikTok.
But the fact is that this TikTok was posted later than my video.
So, this one had me rather confused. As before, I checked the dates and they were once again correct. I actually reached out to British Weirdo about this and he admitted that he had made a mistake, which is quite understandable when having to go through all these sources, and I don't blame him for it. I did a YouTube search on this baby dragon build and oh boy. There were a lot of them, some even being uploaded mere hours ago from the first time I did the search. I honestly thought it'd be nearly impossible to find the original creator of this particular build simply due to the amount of times it's been copied, but I wasn't about to give up just yet. After scrolling for what must have been 10 minutes, I finally managed to find this. Given both Stevee's history of content stealing and the fact that this video was released on the same day as his baby dragon video, I have good reason to believe that this is the original. Among the countless other videos I found on this exact build, only this one had a date far enough back to be legitimate. It seems that Steveee was only half right. Yes, Minecraft Silvery was not the original creator, but from what I can see, neither was Steveee.
And you still believe these people?
Putting devil horns on them? Really? That's low, dude.
I would also like to note that the most popular videos on my channel have gained a well-deserved number of views. Rendering one realistic Minecraft video took 3 to 5 days.
I don't know where he got this footage from, but it's almost certainly not his. Considering he doesn't even want to take the effort to come up with original ideas or give credit to people, I highly doubt that he would do something as laborious or time-consuming as making realistic Minecraft simulations.
At the same time, the most popular videos of Fizzy Banger and British Weirdo is exposes. They don't really create much of their own content.
Okay, that second bit is just a straight-up lie. I feel like at either British Weirdos or Fizzy Banger's channels, you can easily see that, well, yes, they do have expose videos that are quite popular, they still make plenty of other content besides this. In examining British Weirdos, for instance, only 6 out of his 32 total videos are exposés, instantly proving that they are not the main focus of his channel. A similar ratio exists on Fizzy Banger's channel as well.
Finally, I would like to say that it is absolutely normal to borrow ideas from others, because all new ideas are reworked old ones.
Are you really saying this while showing us the very proofs that you tried to use to accuse your accusers of stealing? My gosh, the inconsistency in this video is insane.
My videos only bring positive and joy and never violate the rules of YouTube.
Obviously, they don't bring only positivity or joy due to the sheer number of people who are now aware of your thievery. And about not violating the rules of YouTube? Let's see about that one, shall we? I'm going to go to the official YouTube Terms of Service page and read you an excerpt from the section titled Uploading Content. So there's some stuff at the beginning, but here we go. For example, the content you submit must not include third-party intellectual property, such as copyrighted material, unless you have permission from that party or are otherwise legally entitled to do so. To put this in everyday terms, your videos can't contain content made by other people unless you're either allowed to or are using them fairly. For example, I'm obviously using Stevee's entire video here, but the way I'm doing it isn't violating YouTube's policies because I'm making it clear that it's not my content and providing full credit for it. While Steveee may have a couple videos where he does actually give credit, the majority of them do not and therefore are in violation of the YouTube rules. Here he's just showing us some examples of stuff in his videos. Not sure what this is supposed to prove, but okay.
If I really stole ideas and did not create something of my own, it is unlikely that my channel could still exist.
You know why it still exists? Because YouTube is incredibly incompetent in policing their platform, and there are so many people who are getting away with things daily that are technically against the rules, such as clickbait thumbnails, graphic imagery, or content created solely to increase financial gain.
Fizzy Banger, Phoenix SC, McMcKistine, British Weirdo, and others who wanted to hurt my channel in some way. Let's just live positively and create content for each viewer, and the subscribers themselves will choose what is more interesting for them to watch.
In other words, you're saying that your stolen content is fine just because it's interesting for people to watch? I'm sorry, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, many people either aren't aware of the situation or, often in the case of children, simply don't care. There's really not much that can be done about this besides to spread the word around. Only this will bring a proper stop to the stealing of YouTube videos.
Have a nice day and Happy New Year, everyone.
That ended up being significantly longer than I would have liked, but I didn't want to skimp on any details I thought were important. I hope this video has been of use to you, and if you happen to be one of the people trying to defend Steveee, I sincerely hope that this has changed your perspective. Content thievery is not something that anyone should get away with, and the more people are made aware of this situation, the less of an effect Steveee will have on the community as a whole. As British Weirdo has said, the best thing that you can do is stop giving support to his channel, and if for some reason you are subscribed to him, unsubscribe right now. I do not hate Steveee or any other people who steal content and do not wish harm on them, but what they are doing is wrong and they need to be stopped. If you could share this video around as much as possible, it would be greatly appreciated. I don't normally ask people to do this, as I don't believe in trying to artificially increase my views or subscriber count, but as I mentioned near the start of this video, I am not profiting off this in any way, and the only reason I want it to be seen more than any of my other videos is so that as many people can be made aware of the Steveee situation as possible. That concludes this video. I hope you learned something, and I wish you all a good rest of your day. Or night if you're me and go to bed way too late.